After a 2-week break since the end of the regular season, 18 rounds of grueling competition resulted in 8 teams left, with the top 4 in the East and top 4 in the West battling it out in the Conference Semifinals. Playoff time had come in Major League Rugby. Weekend proceedings kicked off in Quincy as the 2003 reigning MLR champions New England Free Jacks took on rivals Old Glory DC in a repeat of last year's conference final. It didn't take long for Scott Matthey's men to settle into the familiarity of playoff rugby. Smooth play to the outside allowed dangerous winger Balakana in space to hand it off to Reece McDonald to score the first points in the 2024 playoffs inside the first 5 minutes.
Now Balakana, he's always a home run threat. Paul Balakana puts it into the hands of McDonald, and McDonald racing inside of the 5, and he's in! And the Free Jacks draw first blood in the 4th minute. McDonald caps it off.
Old Glory responded early themselves through some of their own great work to the width, stressing the Free Jacks' defence. A big second row, Nakali offered some soft hands for Connor Buckley to get his first try of the game.
Now Buckley moves it. Here comes Old Glory. They got a chance for a break here. Nice ball there, and Old Glory. They said, we'll see your try, and we'll counter with that.
Jason Potros added a penalty for the home side, but Connor Buckley went at it again, scoring his second try of the game after fly half talisman for Old Glory. Jason Robertson burst through the line, setting up this brilliant try for the scrum half underneath the posts. Potros once again added 3 more points to stay in touch, but DC were asking questions of that Free Jacks defence. Some powerful work close to the line allowed USA Eagle captain Fanana Schultz to go over the top and dot it down. Old Glory had their 3rd try of the game, all within just over 20 minutes. But the last 10 minutes of the first half saw an insurgence from the reigning champions. Free Jacks battered down the door of the DC line as Jed Melvin managed to score himself a try, and Potros got the conversion that brought the game within 1 point.
Nothing yet. From that base of that run, they get it down.
DC not down low enough. You can see already Old Glory just too high in those tackles around those fringes. With your back up against your goal line, you really got to get your body position very, very low.
Then into the added minutes of that first half, New England struck again. The ever-impressive standout player of the season for the Free Jacks, Wayne Vanderbank, beating some defenders to set up recently appointed scrum half from Bristol Bears, Oscar Lennon, for his first try of the match. And with the conversion going over, the Free Jacks had a halftime lead, 30 points to 21.
They go 2 quick phases into the middle of the field, and then they switch it back and they put the ball in the hands of a guy who we haven't mentioned his name really at all in this broadcast so far.
The second half started a bit cagey with Potros missing a penalty, but the visitors kept up the pressure. This well-thought-out tap penalty allowed Connor Buckley to get over for a hat-trick of the game, and DC were within 4 points.
So they show everything going to the left, then they shift at the last minute. Everybody's got eyes on the big forwards on the outside. Nobody's watching Connor Buckley.
Playoff rugby started to look a little bit nail-biting for both teams, but Jason Potros did extend the Free Jacks' lead and made it 33-26.
Here's Potros lining up this kick off that penalty from Old Glory going backwards. This is an easy 3 for him.
Yeah, that's a chip shot, and that extends it now to a converted try lead for New England here.
His fly half opponent, Jason Robinson, responded with 3 points of his own, creating a dramatic last 10 or so minutes of the match.
Trying to make this a 4-point match here in the 67th minute. And he does just that. It's 33-29 now.
But with the sturdy defense that the Free Jacks possess, preventing any last-ditch DC threats with the ball, finally getting kicked off the field, the New England Free Jacks booked themselves yet another Eastern Conference final at Quincy next week.
Potros and Robertson right to one another. So much respect. What a battle to start the 2024 MLR Playoffs. New England on to the Eastern Conference Final with a 4-point win.
Saturday concluded with the first semi-final in the Western side as the hugely impressive Houston SaberCats, going 14-2 in the regular season, welcomed Texas rivals and MLR dark horse Dallas Jackals to SaberCats Stadium. The two sides had met in the last round of the regular season, only for the SaberCats to pip it at the end with a 1-point win. However, it was the Dallas Jackals that got the first try of the game as Ronan Foley finished off some patient work near the line.
Dallas looking dangerous. Can they find the first try of the match? Is Foley across and down? Dallas with the try. Jackals on top.
Scrum half Juan D. Oliver was unable to convert, but that didn't stop the Jackals adding to their scoreboard soon after. A brilliant set of hands allowed Nick Benn space for Dallas, and the confidence of the Jackals' attack was vivid and could see it coming through as inside centre Connor Winchester eventually got his hands on the ball to dive over, and with Oliver's conversion, the visitors were 12-3 ahead.
That attacking, enterprising rugby the Jackals have brought all season is rewarded with a try. Connor Winchester.
But the number one team in Major League Rugby this year responded well. A clever grubber and a sublime bit of work from Tau Talatasi Tassi meant Smith gathered it in, and Houston had their first try of the match.
Bit of luck, Nick Benn just trying to will that one over the sideline, but it propped up. Fortuitous bounce and a little tap back as well.
Then Louis van der Schijf picked a beautiful line as he broke the Jackals' defence to give the home side a 15-12 lead inside the first 30 minutes.
Cutting through a hot knife through butter, the South African has the Cats on top.
And the swerve just shredding Jason Tidwell.
But Dallas kept up the pressure. Oliver added 3 points as then the Jackals' attack started to once again expose that Houston defence. A near line break from fullback Malinos helped set up this clinical try from Thomas Cabella. No conversion, but the visitors shocked the home fans as they led at half-time 20 points to 15.
Juan Pablo Saiz again to Ifua. Look at the recycle, the speed at which they get the ball back. It is too much.
The SaberCats looked to compose themselves, even with the Gideon van Wyk Simbin. However, the Jackals stayed firm and bounced on this very loose play from SaberCats' Tau Talatasi Tassi that allowed Jason Tidwell to race away for the Jackals, adding 7 more points to their tally.
Offload to Tidwell, and Dallas is going to have a try.
Van Wyk got himself back on the field, and the number 8 was clearly wanting to make amends for his Simbin. This lovely crafted bit of handling ended up with scrum half Andre Warner getting himself over the line, and the SaberCats were within 5 points.
Across and down, Houston, not done yet. Don't go anywhere, folks.
And that's exactly what they needed, Houston, because they were looking exhausted. They were looking out of sorts. They were looking shell-shocked against this energetic.
The home side, and certainly favourites to win today, continued to mount pressure on the Jackals inside the Dallas half. But another loose bit of play, this time off a pass, turned everything around. Oliver, who had been so impressive all night, kicked the ball ahead and bounced up perfectly into his hands. With the conversion successful, Dallas knew they had done the unthinkable and taken the glory away from Houston.
And this game has taken its toll on every single player. Oh, Schumacher just couldn't pull that one in. You can't blame him. It was an earlier mistake with a wayward pass.
The SaberCats left asking themselves a lot of questions. Dallas continued to be the dark horse of MLR and go to a Western Conference final.
As Dallas has done it, the Jackals have made history. The final, 34-24, Dallas by 12, just as they predicted.
Wow.
Sunday began with 2 franchises who had never reached the MLR Playoffs. Nola Gold filled up the gold mine to host the Chicago Hounds. The home side were pumped with the Gold faithful behind them. An opening penalty from Rodney Yona then led to a first try of the game for Jordan Jackson Hope, hitting the accelerator and dotting down in the corner to give the home team an early 8-0 lead.
And so here he is, he looks up in front of him. He does reach back to grab that ball and then goes forward. But there is nobody at home for Chicago.
But the Hounds, who had hit a bit of form leading into the playoffs, even with the exit of head coach Sam Harris, settled themselves into the game. A Luke Carty penalty was then followed up by a Dylan Fawcett try, his 13th of the season from this driving maul.
The line, Green's there, left side of your screen, got the arm in the air, and the Hounds, they strike from the line out, from the maul once again.
Carty extended the lead with a penalty for the Hounds, 13-8 at 25 minutes, but the home side responded straight off the restart. Roberts pounced on this loose ball and scored in the corner, tying up the game for the Gold, 13 apiece.
They get it down! Julian Roberts!
Carty missed the penalty attempt, but the Gold didn't help themselves as Jordan Jackson Hope dangerous tackle resulted in a yellow card, giving the Hounds a man advantage and valuable field position. Playing off the maul, eventually the ball got spun out to the outside. Quick hands from Billy Meeks then got the ball into Argentinian star winger Julian Dominguez, who powered his way over the try line, scoring in the corner. The conversion was no good, but the Hounds had an 18-16 lead at the break.
Now Meeks, outside, Carlson, he's got a runner, it's Dominguez! Dominguez getting there and getting it down! He spent a good chunk of his career playing for Nola.
With Jackson Hope still in the sin bin, the Hounds continued where they left off. This clever kick off a penalty advantage from Luke Carty created the pressure that allowed USA Eagle Nate Orsberger to gather the ball and score his first try of the game.
It's ticking away now, and this yellow card, the kick from Carty, up trying to get it right there. It goes into the hands of Orsberger, and he dots it down.
No conversion, but Chicago pushed their lead a little further. Carty added another 3 points to make it 26-16 to the visitors. But finally, the goal struck back. This wonderful line from the line-out from Jonah Ma'u got the home crowd on their feet. You could say some poor tackling from the Hounds didn't help, but Nola were back on the scoreboard.
It's going to hold Dylan Fawcett, and you're going to see the space come right between Dylan. There it is, bang, right between Dylan and the first defender, and then it's just missed tackles, and it's all leg drive by Ma'u. Literally, you cannot draw that better on a whiteboard.
However, that would be the last time the home side had anything to cheer about as the Hounds unleashed themselves in the last 20 or so minutes of the match. Adrian Carlson broke away in the midfield, beating a couple of defenders before handing it off to captain Billy Meeks, who scored his first try of the season.
Meeks in support, Billy Meeks! Billy Meeks to the try zone and down! His first try of the season.
Another yellow card for the Gold added salt to the wounds that were beginning to get exposed. James Scott, who had been running the line-out so well all season for the Hounds, got himself a try by breaking off this maul and scoring the 6th try of the day for the Chicago Hounds.
Second lock, he gets it.
There it is, good throw on the money. And I think New Orleans, wow, they weren't they just totally misread that.
The Chicago attack was on fire, and so was this last try of the game. Excellent work down the edge allowed Canadian international Jason Higgins to get a lovely inside ball and score in the corner.
Higgins, wearing 21, Carlson gets away from a would-be tackler. Here come the Hounds. They're just moving this right down the pitch. The big man, back to Higgins. Higgins is in. Jason Higgins puts it down.
With Carty's conversion, the Nola Gold fairy tale first playoff postseason ended abruptly, and the Chicago Hounds showed why they are potential contenders to go all the way. They booked themselves an Eastern Conference final next weekend against the Free Jacks in Quincy.
45-21 in season number 2. They are on to the Eastern Conference Final.
The last game of Sunday and the 4th and final game of the Conference Semifinals saw one of Major League Rugby's biggest rivalries take place, as two-time champions Seattle Seawolves hosted 2023 finalists San Diego Legion at Starfire Stadium. The opening 10 minutes were all about the Australian number 10s. Top MLR point scorer Mac Mason of the Seawolves and Wallaby legend Matt Gitto exchanging penalties. But it was the Seawolves through this lovely kick from Divian Rousseau that got the game's first try.
Not just with the kicking game. Can the Seawolves be the first team to punch one in?
Wow.
All the physicality living up to expectations. Kick through. Brilliance on display. And for the first time today, ball dotted down from Duncan Matthews.
The home side mounted pressure. Legion vice-captain Marcel Bracchi was sent to the bin after playing the man in the air. Mason added the 3 points, and the Seawolves extended their lead. Continued pressure eventually saw the defensive wall crack for the Legion, as then the Seawolves added another try of their own. Close to the line as big second row Ryan Herbst dotted down.
Seawolves knocking on the door. Herbst is in. Seattle marching down the pitch. The punctuation from their lock.
Matt Giteau missed a penalty at 34 minutes for the visitors, but then grabbed another 3 points to his own, as then the Legion closed the gap to just 18 points to 9 at half-time.
Giteau drives that one through for the final score of the opening half.
Danny Lee's side certainly came out the best in the opening 20 minutes of the second half. A Tavita Lepetti, the yellow card for the Seawolves, gave up the field position for the Legion to get a 5-metre line-out drive going. Coming off the bench, Cyril Kama was at the back to dot this one down.
Legion looking for their first try of the day, and they are in.
Well worked. They stay tight, they stay together, they keep moving, and they get it over for the try and finally get one on the board.
The conversion was no good, and unfortunately for the Legion, that would be some of their last celebrations for a while. The home side, the Seawolves, started to click again. A brilliant snipe and kick into the corner from JP Smith put Thomas Aoki under a lot of pressure inches from the Legion line. The referee deemed Aoki deliberately interfered with the Seattle team getting hold of the ball, as then the winger, Aoki, was given a yellow card and a penalty try was awarded for the Seattle Seawolves.
Picking up the ball.
With a man down, the Legion continued to be under pressure and the Seawolves capitalised again. Another powerful run from winger Tony Pulu allowed Pago Haini to get close to the line enough to pick up Go Blind and get the Seawolves another try, the nail in the coffin at 74 minutes, making it 30 points to 14.
Nice scrum by Seattle, the captain. Nice pass to the edge. And here he is. Nice job right there. And the great seal over the top. Quick pickup from the base.
Thomas Aoki did redeem himself coming off from that sin bin, scoring a try in the corner. And a rolling maul led to the Legion getting the last laugh with a penalty try moment at the end. However, it was all too little, too late. The end of the road for San Diego, but another conference final for the Seawolves. Well, they'll play host to Dallas next weekend.
Seawolves continue to march on, and they'll be right back here at Starfire next week to host the Dallas Jackals in the Western Conference Final.
That concludes then a memorable conference semifinals playoffs in Major League Rugby. The New England Free Jacks will host Chicago in the East, and the Seattle Seawolves will play Dallas Jackals in the West as the last four teams try and go and book a spot at the championship game in San Diego on the 4th of August. As for now, we'll see you next week for those conference finals.